Mount David is a quiet little mountainous village in central New South Wales. It gets very, very cold in winter, as you can appreciate. Our next clip is about former resident Roy Arrow. Obviously, hailing from Mount David, Roy went out one night to get a log of wood and had an encounter with a Manitou.
Roy Arrow had always been well liked and highly regarded. His word was as strong as oak. He was a functioning and accepted contributor to the greater Oberon community. But in one night, everything would change. In many respects, it seemed as if his life had in fact been leading up to that very point. Something that would clearly define the man. However, he probably envisaged something much, much different. It was not long before dawn when Roy made his way to the outhouse, or the long drop as he liked to call it. It was cold. Nights in this region always are. And there he sat, occupied and still waking up. Just another day in paradise. Outside, asunder, was something far more sating, vicious and evil. It wasn't his wife, though Roy would proclaim otherwise, at times with tongue firmly in cheek. Oh no, this was different. Very different. It was forever to be known as the Manitou of Mount David. Roy Arrow claimed he was attacked by what looked like a giant wombat. He made the front page of the Oberon Review. His wounds and injuries were so bad that he was taken via rescue helicopter to Westmead Base Hospital. Roy never returned to his property, and it was sold thereafter. And what is also apparent is that not every moment is a sorbent moment.
For years, opinion has been divided on the very existence of megafauna in Australia. Now, some say the moa and the megalania still grace our landscape. Others think it's more related to an affair with the brown bottle. But whatever the case, Roy Arrow was not the only person to have had a violent encounter. Only recently, one Bruce Kringle down in Victoria had an encounter with a giant wombat, and that was in broad daylight. So it does happen more often than not. Our next witness, Nicole O'Regan, is going to tell us what she thinks happened to Roy Arrow, only on Terra Australis.
In the early 90s, my parents bought a place out at Mount David and bought it around winter time. It was absolutely freezing. Anyway, we had a look around town and we went into the church up the road and had a look in there. We opened the door to where the confessions take place, and there's this wombat, and it was just going psycho, and it just went feral at us. And anyway, we let it out. Obviously someone had locked it in there. We let it out and it was on its way, and yeah, the only people that lived there was the Carters, and Roy Arrow used to live there not long before we bought the place. But he had an incident one night where he went out to get a piece of wood, and instead of picking up a piece of wood, he picked up a wombat. and the thing attacked him, and he ended up with something like 400 stitches. Anyway, that night he managed to get back into his house, and he rang his daughter who lived in Bathurst, and she said, "Oh, you know, get back to bed, you old bastard, you've had too much to drink." And anyway, the next day she tried to ring him and wasn't answering, so I thought she better go and check on him. And yeah, she called an ambulance. He was, you know, nearly unconscious, and yeah, not long after that he ended up selling the place and went into a nursing home.
That was the Manitou of Mount David. Hope you enjoyed it. In the weeks ahead, we're going to show you some very, very interesting things indeed. We're going to look at Hairy Mary, Jeff Robinson, the loneliest man in the world, Paddy's Lantern, Jesse Hickman, the Lady Bushranger, and Lucky Ricky McGee. So until next time, stay tuned, only on Local Legends Terra Australis.